Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for another edition of Charlie Loves Science. We've got a new discovery out of the UK that actually correlates unfortunately well to our coastline. We're going to be talking about ocean acidification today. And before we get into the nitty-gritty details of the study itself, I want to break down exactly what ocean acidification is. And that's when we've got too much carbon dioxide that enters the atmosphere through the burning of fossil fuel. It goes through a chemical reaction with that water. It creates carbonic acid. There you can see the carbon dioxide, OCO, matching up with the HOH, the H2O of water. Both of those two things combined, and they create, again, carbonic acid. This increases the acidity or lowers the pH level of the water, making it more difficult for organisms, microorganisms, to fish and plant life to successfully thrive in the waters that are a little bit lower with those pH levels. Now, as far as what we've got beyond, of course, just ocean acidification, we need to understand that this is occurring more rapidly along our coastlines because of what is considered ocean upwelling. There's a look at the upwelling zones across North America, big one across the West Coast, but here in eastern North Carolina, we have an ocean upwelling zone right along our beaches. And this is what leads to such a vibrant and fulfilling ecosystem that is rich of fish life. We can go off of our coast and find some, again, incredible fishing zones, comparatively speaking, to the rest of the world. And a big reason why are ocean upwelling zones. What happens is the winds that are brought in by the Gulf Stream, they run pretty much along our coastline, not really directly north and south, but essentially from the southwest up towards the northeast. Now, as that kind of parallels our coastline, all of that wind carries the surface waters out away from our coast. That requires waters from deeper levels of the ocean. Industry happening. It is an unfortunate part of industry happening. It is an unfortunate part of American society, and not just American society, but societies worldwide depend still on the burning of fossil fuels. But the two main authors, the authors of this study from the University of St. Andrews, really highlight this. The co-author, Dr. Hanna Zhurokova, a senior research fellow from the School of Earth and Environmental Sciences, was one of the authors. Another was Dr. James Ray. He comes from the School of Earth and Environmental Sciences at the University of St. Andrews, and he said, quote, "The ocean becoming more acidic poses major risks to marine ecosystems." Now, and the communities, of course, and economies that those marine ecosystems support. Now, the solutions that we have now for climate change, like heat pumps and electric vehicles, also fix ocean acidification, so it is critical that we support them. And again, this is a brand new study coming out of University of St. Andrews as far as what we can do here in eastern North Carolina to help limit the acidification of our water off our coast, reduce fossil fuel burning. It's one of those, if you're sitting in your car, maybe waiting to pick up the kids from school, instead of keeping your car running, turn it off. Maybe bring a jacket. I know a lot of people are thinking like, well, Charlie, it's cold outside. What do you mean turn off the car when it's, freezing outside? You really think that that's a reasonable thing to ask? Well, yes, if you bring a jacket, if you prepare for the chill, turn off your car, or maybe even try to go towards an electric vehicle, that will reduce the amount of fossil fuel burning and reduce the amount of carbon dioxide that go into the atmosphere and then lead to, again, dangers for our coastal ecosystems. Now, we'll be back with more news and weather coming up at 4. Next week, we'll take another deep dive into a recent science discovery that could have an impact on your life down the road. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back with more news and weather coming up at 4 o'clock.